And how are you, my friend?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, John? Everybody? And I'm
Ooh,
so
boy.
excited, so pumped. Man, this Copa America has been savage. It's been savage. I love it, man.
Well, and one of the FS2 is doing the Lord's work, and they are rebroadcasting the match this morning from Uruguay and Colombia. They're showing it right now.
Oh,
They're in the 75th minute. Suarez just hit the post. So, yeah, we've been getting the re-airing of the shenanigans all morning. I don't
oh,
know how much
yeah.
after we're going to get, but we got time. So we got time this morning. So
All right.
we're not in a time crunch. The only time crunch is 11:05 ish Eastern time, and then I got to talk about news of the day and things like that. So we can go for a while.
All
Uh,
right.
unless you got to do burpees or get a cup of coffee or something.
Already got it done, buddy.
All right. Yesterday at 6:30 Eastern time, U.S. Soccer came out with the announcement that Greg Berhalter, thank you for your service. Here's your pocket watch. We'd like your key card and your ID. We have never here on the morning show been a bunch that is a fan of more than one cycle. It's just like give me a cycle and then move on to the next guy because message gets stale, players move on, whatever.
Right.
Now that the United States has finally moved on from Greg Berhalter, your initial thoughts starting last night around dinner time and since you've had the sum total of 15 hours to think about it.
I think it was time. You know, relationships, they have a lifetime. You know, they have there's a beginning, then there's an end, and usually, especially in soccer, I don't know about any, and maybe in other sports might work longer, and there's special cases, and there's special cases for soccer too, like the, I don't know, let's see, I forgot the guy from Manchester United. I forgot his name. Jesus,
Sir Alex?
Alex, you're Alex, right? You know, you got those are unicorns. Those are unicorns. Nobody can last in a soccer job and as a head coach successfully more than 5 years. I mean, I think 5 years, 6 years. We want to stretch it to 6 years, right? And that's a cycle. That's a cycle for a soccer coach. 7 years, things are not getting, they're not fresh anymore. You know, and the things that you try to sell, the ideas that you try to sell to the players, they're not buying. They're not buying anymore. And it doesn't matter what you say and how you say and how many times you say it. It's not gonna sink. They're not gonna let it sink. They're like, we don't believe you anymore. We don't believe you anymore. I'm not saying that it's that the U.S. men's national team players are saying stay away from us. No. But the relationship it gets worn out. They're worn out, and then and you see when you don't see the results, because if the coach says something, right? Oh, guys, gonna play this type and this style, and we move it from this position to that position, and you win, okay, we'll buy. But when we don't win, and you come up with these ideas, and we're not gonna. It's not like we're not gonna listen to you. We're gonna do it, but then the results at the end of the 90 minutes, without saying a word, just the looks, the one that say, "Hey, it's not working. It's not working." Where do we go now? Where do we go? Like the song, right? It is what it is. And remember when I said, was it last week? I said, what's last week, right? About Jurgen Klopp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, it's like it's on fire now. Everybody wants Jurgen now. And not because I said it. No, because of that. But it was one of the first ones. You gotta give me that credit, man.
Oh, I absolutely, my friend. Now the U.S. gets to watch everything else happen. And in the Copa, 10 minutes to go in the re-air, Colombia is still leading 1-0 over Uruguay. Last night, this match, I think for anyone that has never sat down and watched the Copa America in the United States, I think that last night was a gauge. It's like, if you've never seen this before, this is what you got into. And it was 90 minutes of this is what you got into when you got turned into a guest star in this production, man.
It was insane. It was just insane. And I was so glad. I was so glad that these two teams met last night. Right? It was Colombia, arguably the best team in the tournament. I don't care about what Argentina right now. I don't care about Argentina. They're playing the best soccer, and they got the best player, James Rodriguez, colliding with Uruguay. This Uruguay that I was an insane machine, and like it seems like they have, but everybody in Uruguay has 3 lungs, not 2. Right?
Bielsa mandated that. It's like, if you're going to be, you got to get that 3rd lung.
Yeah. You got to, man. You got to, in order to play like that, so intense, suffocating pressure from the first minute to the 90th minute. It was nonstop. The pressure. I was like, 25 minutes. All right, they're going to slow down. No, 35. They're going to slow down. They're not slowing down. They're not slowing down. But you gotta win. The only way. But if you want to win, it's the recipe in soccer is simple, and at the same time it's so complex that it says the team that scored the most goals wins. Right? Everything comes down to that simple statement. The team that scores more goals wins, and the firepower for Uruguay. It was just not there. Which is even with Lucho, they send Lucho to the pitch, and I'm not so excited to see Luis Suarez. And I'm excited to see him in that role, right? Coming in from the bench, grabbing the armband, being the captain, heating up the shot in the pipe, producing several chances for Uruguay. But Colombia was so compact. They were so tight. It was a unit. It's just arm of brothers, man. It was just insane the way that they protect that lead for 40. I want to say 50 minutes with the overtime. 52 minutes with a man down. That's just remarkable. And that's what Toto Lorenzo also brought to the table when we talk about that he went to James Rodriguez and told him to, hey, come over here, I want to build a team around you. But everything with the Toto Lorenzo starts from the defensive standpoint, because he was a defender when he was a player, right? He was a defender when he was a player. And his mindset is this, we're going to protect our pocket, and then we go from there. We command all that vertical plays, all that sensational offense, and all the variety of weapons that they have in offense. But their defense is the best in the tournament. And I think many people saying about this, all these conspiracy theories, right, about Argentina. And all the way that the tournament was built up. Oh, you're going with the easy way. But when you get to the finals, there's only 90 minutes, 11v11, and anything could happen.
You mentioned defense and compactness and red cards and things like that. How did you? And this was something that I noticed in U.S. fan Twitter. A 280 character app last night. The U.S. fans who have not seen a Copa match or an international match like what we saw last night, they were wondering about the officiating. Why, the range of opinions about the center ref. It's like, oh, man, he's awful. Why isn't he calling things? Oh, man, it's great. He's not calling things. He called the red. That was the right call. Hey, the guy got pinched. He gave him another yellow. I saw opinions all over the place last night about the center ref. And what I would offer in this is that it was a job that was done to let the game breathe, but not let it get out of control. And there's a difference in that. There's a fine line in that. And I think that line was really traveled well last night.
And I'm going to say this for all the U.S. fans. Welcome to CONMEBOL.
Exactly right.
Well, welcome to CONMEBOL. This is how we play the game. All right. This is how we got our relationships with the referees. This is how we manage the tempo and how we manage the temper. And even though when Uruguay, what happened at the very end of the game, right? It's crazy what happened.
We'll get into that.
But that's after the game. That's after the game. That's not within the 90 minutes when the referees and the players are involved. But it's another level, all right? It's a different level because every week you see in MLS, you know, how the game flows, and then there's also ginormous mistakes on the officiating, to ginormous mistakes, all right? But that's I think that's for the lack of experience. I'm saying this, all right? Lack of experience, I'm going to call it. I'm going to put it like that with the referees in the MLS. Now, if you go to CONMEBOL, you go to these referees that coming from these leagues that they're so tough, that they're rough, that there's a lot of pressure, because this is real pressure on the referees. There's real pressure on the referees, and it's just the way that the tournament goes with the crunch time, you know, to take decisions almost on the fly. Okay, it brings the best and the worst at the same time, and it gives you that age. And when you're thinking, was this gonna? I don't know about this call. You know, why did they call this for this team, or why are they calling for the other team? Now, what's the reason? And then all the controversies are coming, and the referees are in the center of the storm, and able to come up alive some way somehow.
And I mean, there were moments. I mean, you got to have, in a semifinal and a final, you got to have a top crew with eyes in the back of their head, and they've got to. And I think that one of the things that we notice, for those that haven't seen it, is that yes, they let it breathe, but they understand the context of what's going on.
Right.
In a given moment with a given action, and they add it to, it's like they add it as another chapter of the book that is the game. It's like, okay, we see where the story's going. We're going to let this happen. Everything is fine in the context of what we're seeing. Nothing's out of the way, completely off the rails, but it's there and it's manageable.
Exactly. And that's why they have these, I'm not going to say this is a special book, right? But it's your black book they had in the pocket, right? That black book when they, okay, this is the situation. We got to manage in this way. You got to manage in a different way for different games. And that black book was keeping this tournament going the way it is going. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know who's the crew for the finals. Do you have it? No.
Let me check my WhatsApp channel from our friends at the Copa, because the Copa is basically like, okay, here's the deal. Copa America. All right. So they don't. All right. So, yeah, it just came out at about 30 minutes ago. Yes, I accept.
Oh, okay. So I haven't seen it.
Argentina, Colombia. Rafael Klaus. It is a Brazilian referee. Rafael Klaus. AR, Bruno Pires. AR2, Rodrigo Correa. Those are all Brazilian officials. Your fourth, Juan Benitez from Paraguay. Your fifth, Eduardo Cardoso from Paraguay. VAR, Rodolfo Toschi from Brazil. And Danilo Manis from Brazil is your AVAR. That's your finals crew. Canada, Uruguay. Looks like it's Venezuelan top three. Alexis Herrera from Venezuela is your center ref. AR number 1, Luben Torrealba. AR number 2, Alberto Ponte. Fourth, Jerry Vargas from Bolivia. Your fifth, Bruno Boschilia from Brazil. VAR, Derlis Lopez from Paraguay. And your AVAR, Milciades Saldivar from Paraguay. So there you go. Those are your crews.
I think Rafael Klaus is the right man for the job. I think they picked the right guy, even though he sometimes he comes up with some attitude, but I think he's qualified for these finals. And the fact that it's a Brazilian, it's just, I think it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. I was thinking that why they didn't pick another one from another country. I was going for the countries. I'm like, you cannot pick this guy from this country. No. But Brazil, even though they were ousted, but by Colombia, but I think it's gonna have anything to do with it. I think Rafael Klaus is right man for the job.
See, and the funny thing is, in our conversation with our watchers and listeners in the Twitch pitch, now we have our fans now and our listeners and a part of our Twitch pitch family now jokingly saying they wished it was Ivan Bartone. That's the kind of impact CONMEBOL has now had in their brains, is that they now remember Ivan Bartone and now can have him as a punchline going forward.
That's
insane. What this
tournament
has done, Nino. I mean, that's what they've done, man.
It's just part of the game. It's just part of the game. Every time a referee has a controversial performance, it's going to chase him. It's going to hunt him down for, I don't want to say forever, but there's some names. When you say a name, RP Filo, there are names of referees that come up. Codesal from the finals in the 1990. I mean, it's like you cannot say Codesal in Argentina, man. It's bad, man. It's just such a bad vibe. You cannot say Codesal because they will probably, I don't know, punch you in the face, man. Wow. Even though it was 34 years ago. Okay,
that's the thing. It's like Ivan Bartone is now drawing that same kind of heat.
Yeah.
And it's only been a month in the United States, and now folks are like, Ivan Bartone, we know what we're dealing with, man. We don't want nothing to do with that.
Absolutely. And you know what's funny? There's this guy, used to be a referee. He used to call the, I don't know if you know about this guy, Javier Castrilli. Have you heard about this guy?
No. What's up?
He was the best referee from Argentina back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. But he was known as the sheriff because he was just, man, he was a sergeant. He was just you cannot play, you cannot mess with the guy. And he did not hesitate at any time to show red cards at any moment. All right. He didn't care there was the finals. He didn't care if it was 90 minutes. No, if it's a red card, it's a red card. I'm going to take you out. And his line was so hard, like he was respected. And he's on Twitter, of course. He's on Twitter, and he comments on all the decisions for the referees, and it's so fun to read because his perspective is like I don't know, like he's a monk, He's a monk. I cannot be touched. He's just insane the way that he was not the he didn't let the atmosphere or the pressure to affect his decisions. And many times, many people were not happy with him. But in the end, I would like to have him than anyone else.
Nino Torres, our buddy from GOL TV, hanging out with us, talking everything Copa America. All right. We got to talk about what happened after the match. And I know that it's easy. And like I said, we got time and space, so I'm not worried about quick takes or hot takes or anything like that. We can talk this through, and I want to do that because I think it's important. A lot of folks who were brought into the Copa for the first time last night, they're going to look at what happened after the match with what happened in the stands, and that is going to be their instant opinion about everything that's wrong and why this stuff shouldn't happen, why these things shouldn't happen here and why you're going to get all of the snap opinions about over the top wrong. But what I wanted to do was bring in information and context here and have folks understand what went down. Was it wrong? Absolutely. On multiple fronts, absolutely. And I don't want something like that to put a black cloud over everything, but I want to talk about it because of what happened and how important it is.
Absolutely. And let's start for the security.
Yeah.
Where was the security in there? I mean, in a NFL game and in a baseball game,
Yeah.
somebody says something or somebody throw a punch, and immediately the response is like within seconds they take the people out.
Yep.
Why did it take so long? Why did it take so long to manage this situation? I saw the video and I saw the police calling, and they were like they almost brought their cell phones up to record the fight. You know, that's the part that really it concerns me in terms of the security for not only for the fans but for the players too.
Yeah.
It's got to work because they work to protect the players and to protect the people. So you got to be in the middle, and that was I think there was a lack of a response from the security that was disposed to the stadium. It's just in
a situation that is as heated as it traditionally is between these two countries when they play, why it was thought that it was going to be a good idea. Because I mean, you know, at every wedding, you're going to have a wedding reception, and you've got to figure out the seat chart. You got to figure out, okay, who can sit next to folks, who can have conversations, who can not say something bad about the bride and groom, and then who's the aunt that's always going to sit there and be the one that says, well, I didn't like them in the first place. Why, when you filled out the seat chart for this match at Charlotte, did you have the families of one of the teams in close proximity to the rabid fans or of the team that was going to be on the other end of the result? The seat chart and the security here, they look like they were flawed on multiple fronts. Why do you have young children and families of one team next to super fans from the other side? The seat chart and how that was put together, it seems like it was flawed.
Absolutely. And but the thing is also that I don't know how long in advance the tickets were sold.
True.
That's what I don't know. You know, that's because and you don't know who's going to play in the semifinals too. So you buy the tickets, but in the end, I don't know. But it could have been handled so much better when it comes to family and for the players. They need to be in a secure spot. They just need to be in a secure spot, man. Period.
And I know that we're gonna look at everything that happened, and I know that Darwin Nunez, I'm sure, is going to get a hefty suspension, or is he? How much context is going to be given to the situation as we're talking it through here? And he and Jimenez were making. I know that Jimenez came on and did the post-match interview and was trying to explain how it was all laid out up there.
Right.
And you've got Nunez throwing hands in that section while we're waiting on security and more security to try to separate things, and stuff's being thrown. And I mean, you wonder what the fallout of this is going to be when it gets to that court stage, when it gets to the tribunal for CONMEBOL, and what's going to happen here. I mean, you've got to do something, but I don't know what you do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because suspension, okay, you suspend the players, all right, for I don't know how many games or for how long you're going to suspend it.
Right.
So what's gonna be the impact on the security for further games if you suspend the players only? I think it's just not the only way that CONMEBOL should add. But in the end, let's put it this way, man. It's all about business.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about business. It's just, all right. We're gonna suspend the players. We're gonna say an apology later to the fans and the families, and let's move on.
Yeah, and I think that this is also a learning experience for United States venues as we get closer to the World Cup.
Right. But this is going to be a present for the World Cup. I think they're going to work so much better for the World Cup.
This is hopefully going to be a learning experience for the United States and U.S. venues and security and organizations and how you handle things. The matchup on the weekend. Yeah, I know that you're already sitting there and you're plotting your food. You know what you're going to be making. You know what you're going to have when your feet are kicked up. You know how you're going to watch this. And you got a team that has not lost in 28 straight, going up against the team that beat them the last time they lost over 2 years ago with Argentina and Colombia. And I mean, how can you explain to someone who is new to Copa America what winning Copa America means within that framework of support for your national team? I mean, here, from your time here, what it means to have a national team do well and what it means to win Gold Cups, Nations Leagues, et cetera. What does it mean for a CONMEBOL nation to win Copa America? What does it mean from your perspective?
Just to give you an idea, if you guys watch the post-game interview with James Rodriguez, the guy was bowling, man. He was bowling. He couldn't even finish the interview because how excited he was, how emotionally affected he was for coming into the finals. He's been 13 years playing for the national team. This is the first time they reached the finals. This is the first time they reached the finals since 2001 for Colombia. And this is a nation. The Colombian nation is a nation that they always get close. They always get close to the top, but for some reason they fall apart in the very last second. They cannot get the last ticket. They cannot finish the job, and they feel that this time is their time. Even though they're going against Messi and the world champions and the current Copa America champions, they know it's their momentum, and especially against Argentina. There's a special thing about Colombia going against Argentina, and I'm going to tell you, I can almost guarantee you this. All right, I'm gonna go check all the Colombian outlets, but they're gonna play that 5-0 from 1993 all over the place, man. They're gonna play that movie every single time, and they were like, okay, we're going to do this again. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win 5-0. I'm not saying that. But it's just the energy that is coming with this Colombia team. And this is the thing, right? Argentina, he's going to be well-rested. They didn't play the toughest teams in the competition. The thing is, how much are they going to elevate their game? Because they will have to elevate their game. They haven't been playing at their top level in the entire Copa America. I'm going to say that if you, after all the games that I watched from Argentina, probably there's 45 minutes all combined that Argentina played at their top level. 45 minutes across all their games. No, I cannot put more play time for Argentina playing at top level. And I think this is the thing. I think they're just a bit overrated right now.
Wow. Okay.
They're overrated right now. And facing Colombia is going to be a reality check to see if they are who they say they are, if they are who their cops they're saying they are, or it's just all these conspiracy theories about making the easy route to the finals is going to fail miserably in the finals. We'll see. But right now, I know I said before that Uruguay was my candidate, and I think the finals would be Argentina against Uruguay. And all this aura that of a gang that Messi and his team brings to the table. It's impressive. It's scary, but right now, I think it's hopefully it happens. Right? Hopefully it happens. I think that the two best teams in the world right now, that they're playing the two best tournaments in the world, Spain in the Euros and Colombia in the Copa America. I pray to the soccer gods, to the Mount Rushmore of soccer, to Johan Cruyff, to Pelé, to Di Stefano, to Diego Maradona, to bring all their magic. And look at that, man. Look at that. Oh, boy. Hola. I love that shirt, man.
Yeah.
For once, that the two best teams wins the championship.
Okay.
Because not always happens. Not always happens that the best team wins these tournaments, especially these short tournaments, right? This is only a month. You got to be at your best for a month, right? It's different when you win a 34-game season. That's a different story. Always the best team wins on the long run. But in the short run, not always happens. And hopefully Spain and Colombia, because they play the best soccer, they get the trophy, hopefully.
When it comes to Colombia, I know we gravitate toward James, and you're going to be shorthanded, obviously, because of the red card that happened in the match last night. Give me someone for a viewer popping in for the first time. This is their first Copa America final.
Lucho Diaz.
And they're, if they haven't ever seen a Copa America final before, and they're jumping in because it was in the United States and they're gravitating toward it, and they're like, oh, this has been a cool tournament, and they're watching this for the first time. Give me somebody that's not quite star power, that's not quite the James level. For things to go well for Colombia, who do folks need to look at to sit there and go, oh, okay, things are going well, and it's not because of James? Who else do they need to look at for Colombia?
No, because you said Lerma.
Okay.
Lerma, he's been in the heart of the soccer operations for Colombia, and he got the goals. I think he got only one goal.
Yeah, he had the header last night.
Right. So it got two then, because he scored on the other game too. She's the influence of Lerma, because you got James, you got Lucho, and that's the soccer circuit. But when it comes to bring the balance, that's Lerma, with the guy that you look up to. That's Lerma. That's it. Keep an eye on Lerma, guys. Keep an eye on Lerma. Watch his movements off the ball. Watch how many times he reached the end zone, how many coverage he does per game, how many tackles, how many recoveries, how many transitions are running by Lerma in order to get to Colombia to the next level.
So then for Argentina, I want to talk about Emi Martinez a little bit.
All right.
And he's what we call a dude. I mean, he's a dude. And when you have someone who is at the top of his game that feels like Superman, I mean, he's got the cape, he's got the S. I don't know what kryptonite Emi Martinez has. I don't know if there is anything, because the swagger's there. And honestly, if you get into a situation where it's PKs and Emi Martinez is dealing with it, and he's just like walking, and he's playing games, and he's ready to go, and he's woofing, and he's doing all kinds of things, to have that kind of confidence between the sticks in a final, that's got to take you to places you never thought you could go. And to have that for Argentina just reinforces how, you got the firepower up top and you got all the big names, but when you're at the back of the line and you're having to sit there and make sure that somebody makes a big save, having a guy like Emi Martinez, having a guy like Debo is just nuts, to have somebody who's on that kind of a role.
I want to tell you this for Emi Martinez. This is what I've noticed, not just during the games with Argentina, because when he plays, the thing is, when he plays for Argentina, his level goes up to the roof, man. This is crazy. But there's some flaws. There are set pieces, all right? Set pieces. Keep an eye on the set pieces. Make sure that Licha Martinez or El Cuti Romero don't commit fouls in the corners of the 18, because that's when James Rodriguez star power is going to come to place. And when you got a guy like James that at the level that he's playing, and you give an opportunity to him to take a set piece 25 yards, 30 yards out, I think that's going to be the difference right there, how you can beat El Dibu Martinez, because his positioning on set pieces with the Wolves, they're not the best. They're not the best. So if you go ahead and check him out, the set pieces, he's not that great. Penalties is a different story. But the set pieces, the angle, sometimes his positioning is not the best. So I think that James Rodriguez and El Toto Lorenzo, they're going to try to elaborate something to try to create set pieces from those angles, even from the left corner from the right hand side corner of the 18, outside of the 18.
One more question, and thanks for hanging out and doing a little extra time. The fourth hung up the banner with the light on it, and I was just like, forget it, I'm breaking the board. James, we've been talking a lot about James this tournament. Someone obviously has got to be cutting a big check to Sao Paulo to get him out of there after this tournament's over, right?
Yeah, most likely. But I don't know who yet. They're not bidders, but he probably is going to leave. He probably is going to leave Sao Paulo. I don't know if he's going to go back to Europe. I don't know. Maybe.
Hey, brother, there are folks in our footprint that are like, get James to Atlanta United yesterday.
I would love it, man. I think because he's 33? Yeah, he's 33. Bring it on.
What are you calling this weekend? How many matches are you calling this weekend, or do you get a weekend off?
I don't have my schedule yet. Usually, they give it to me Thursdays afternoons. So, but most likely, I'm gonna miss both finals, man.
Whoa!
Most likely, I'm gonna miss more the two finals, because I know I'm checking the schedule. And Peñarol is playing in what's the Peruvian League starts this weekend. Starts tomorrow. Kicks off tomorrow. The Clausura. So it's gonna be a lot of games. And when there's a lot of games, we got like 5 games on Saturday and 5 games on Sunday. So yeah, it's most likely I'm gonna miss. If not both finals, I'm gonna miss one of them for sure.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about it again next Thursday. It's always fun to have you come on because I know a lot of folks coming into this tournament that have fanatis like yours truly, who will watch GOL TV like yours truly, who know your voice and know your approach and know your love of the sport, finally have a chance to sit there and put a face to the voice and get to hear you speak about the game itself. And so it's been fun so far. And I know we're going to talk again next Thursday to keep it rolling, because frankly, I enjoy talking to you on Thursdays, and we can talk about whatever we're talking about. But as always, my friend, thank you for going extra time today. We didn't have to go to PKs, but we went extra time, and thank you for your patience and your education, as you always are, my friend. It's great to catch up with you. Great to see you. Have great calls this weekend. May the pipes be with you. May the pipes be with you the entire weekend. And we will catch up with you again next Thursday. I appreciate your time.
Hey, John, thank you. Appreciate it, man. I got a lot of fun talking to you, and a big hug for all the fans here on Soccer Down Here Network, man. Appreciate it.